You know, there was a time when you'd get into Magic the Gathering, and the main concern you had when it came to the value of your collection was if you're playing Standard, because there was a thing called Standard rotation. If you are a Standard player, if you've played Standard before, which if you play Magic the Gathering, you've probably played that at some point, what would happen is after a cycle gets rotated out, a lot of the cards from that set or that cycle will go down in value because they're no longer in Standard. And what'll happen is usually one or two cards from each set, maybe more if it's a good set, will actually maintain their value and continue to go up because they would be played in other formats like Legacy or even Modern, which was like the bread and butter for Magic the Gathering for years. Magic the Gathering, they rode on Modern's coattails for so long. Look at all the Master sets. The Master sets, they came out specifically because of Modern. And then as the game evolved and changed, and they just basically beat it into the ground to the point where now you can find Modern Masters original boxes for the same price they were like 3 or 4 years ago, which is literally insane. Maybe even, probably even 5 years ago. I think they've really been like a dead investment. Any sort of Modern Masters box is kind of, maybe if you hold it long enough, but right now it's like the easy money's already been made if people have already bought it and they've flipped it. And that's basically what's happened now with the Master set, is riding on the coattails of Modern. And then they had Eternal Masters, which is like the first inkling that they might branch off into other forms of Master sets, which they did. And honestly, Eternal Masters was a great set. And then they kind of went back to Modern Masters with Modern Masters 2017 and then Ultimate Masters. Then now you know the story. And now it's just changing into Legends. They went from Masters now to Legends, like Commander Legends or Horizon. So they're splitting it into two to try to make as much money as possible. Now, Wizards of the Coast, the funniest thing about it is maybe 5 years ago when I was like getting back into playing the game, I remembered a lot of people were making videos or just talking about the fact that Wizards of the Coast says that they don't look at the secondary market, which is actually the first video I ever made on YouTube was talking about how Wizards of the Coast says they don't look at the secondary market. Check that out down below if you actually want to filter through my videos. And that is the obvious lie. It's pretty clear that everything they do is based on looking at the secondary market. That's the reason why they're charging $1,000 for these non-tournament legal proxy cards. Because they looked at the secondary market and made an assessment saying, well, you know what, if we charge too little for that, it could freak out too many of the older players who think that their equity in their collection is going to be disappearing. Which, I mean, some of the equity is going away. But I actually believe that what Wizards of the Coast has done in the last few years, it's been pretty clear. They will reprint everything. Everything. Anything. Seriously. If they're going to reprint the Black Lotus, nothing is on the table anymore. Even specialty cards that were like masterpieces, I honestly never thought that they would ever do it. But now I'm starting to think, as much as I think that the Kaladesh inventions are beautiful and I think they're one of a kind, I could see them just doing like a set where it's, you buy the entire thing for like $2,500 and you get all the masterpieces. Or they would select a few of them as like a secret layer and they'll basically reissue the exact same style. Maybe they'll have like a little mark, like, a little planeswalker mark on the bottom left corner or right corner, and that's it. It's like, there it is. That's how you know it's a different card. Okay. So I honestly believe at this point, from what Wizards of the Coast has done in the past few years, I think the only real true investment for Magic the Gathering, if you're going to invest in the game, is probably just the vintage format. That's it. I don't think Legacy is going to be as stable as it used to be as an investment. If you want to invest in Legacy, maybe the dual lands, but I honestly believe the dual lands, because of even the 30th anniversary, players, who want to just play like with their friends, they might actually start gobbling up these copies, which I think is kind of ridiculous. Personally, I don't want to buy them, but I could see dual lands maybe going down a little bit, then maybe stabilizing and going back up, because they are obviously releasing so many new dual lands into the market because they are going to be printed twice the rate in the 30th anniversary edition. And people, if they want cheap copies, this is probably going to be the copy they're going to buy. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen. So the rarity, and I've been saying this on my channel for a long time, the rarity in Magic the Gathering comes from the older formats like ABU and the Four Horsemen sets, because those sets had their print run numbers disclosed and they're widely known. And I actually talk about it on my market move videos whenever an older card goes up. Now, Alpha, Beta, Unlimited, very, very limited print runs. We know the print run numbers. Same thing as Arabian Nights, Antiquities, and Legends. This is going to be the investment in the future. Do not buy any of the flashy crap products that they're putting out, which is basically mass-produced scarcity. You know, it's like where they're forcing themselves to make it as scarce as humanly possible to drive FOMO. And honestly, it's not going to work. People are fed up with Wizards of the Coast. The stock market is obviously reacting to the way that they've been handling their company in recent years. Look at their stock. Hasbro is down like crazy. You don't need to be an expert to see that, you know, their bad decisions lead to this. But overall, the whole economy is not doing well, which is why price increases are pissing people off. You know, them destroying the equity of people's collections is pissing people off, and also just pushing out as much product as they have been in the past few years is really upsetting everyone, and the market is reacting to that right now. And honestly, I believe because of this, if things ever recover, the older cards are going to maintain their value, and they're going to be the true collectible for Magic the Gathering in the future. ABU, obviously Arabian Nights, Antiquities, and Legends, those sets in general are going to hold the most value in the future. Anyways, let me know what you think about this. Do you think Wizards of the Coast is going to reprint everything? I'd love to hear your thoughts about that down below in the comment section. Now with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Face-to-Face Games is having their tour in Toronto and Calgary this year, and I'll be in Toronto for the event. And if you'd like $5 off your event, use the link in my description or the code Mattcaster. If you use my code, come by and see me, and I'll give you an extra $5 event ticket just for using my code and being awesome. The Toronto event is going to be November 25th to 27th, and the Calgary event is going to be December 9th to 11th. If you come to the Toronto event, I'll see you there, and don't forget to say hi. Being a patron will help me produce more market movers and add to the funds that I will use for my random buys, and also to my coffee fund, because I drink a lot of coffee for these videos. And here you can see a link below in the description that will give you all the tiers and what you get in each tier. So I hope you guys click and think about joining. And with that, I'll see you next video. Think about supporting the channel in that way. If not, subscribe, like, leave a comment, and I will see you again in the next video.